It was the Blue Raiders of Tennessee invading the Bluegrass Saturday. Could the Raiders sneak up on the Cats? And how did the women's volleyball team do this week in their invitational? And men's and women's soccer teams are on the road. How did they fare? Stand up and cheer. Another episode of Sportszone 50 starts right now.
Skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Welcome in everyone to Sportszone 50, your only student sports authority. I'm Ryan Molikoff alongside with Justin Stewart.
Well, Ryan, this past week, Kentucky was taking on Middle Tennessee State at home.
And Justin, Middle Tennessee State coming off a big win last week against Maryland. And Maryland this past week has upset Cal State Fullerton, the 20th ranked team in the nation. This third game of the season for Kentucky hosting Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State coming off a big win last week against Maryland. Pick this one up in the first quarter. Middle Tennessee State's on the move. Joe Craddock dumps it off for Desmond Gee, who breaks one around the corner, and he heads it down 70 yards for the first score of the game, 7-0 Blue Raiders. Move to the second quarter, where the Blue Raiders are driving. Craddock finds Malcolm Bia, who gets down to the 20-yard line. And that would set up a 25-yard field goal attempt by Alan Greentree, which clanks off the goalpost and was no good. Still in the second half, it's Kentucky moving. Mike Hartline rolls out and finds a wide-open E.J. Adams in the end zone for the apparent score, but it's called back because of a penalty. So the Cats would settle for a Lona Seaver field goal before the half that made it 10-7 Kentucky. Fourth quarter now, Mark Hartline rolls out, hits Derek Locke in the flats. Derek Locke stumbles and bumbles in for 6. Goes in for the score. Kentucky up 17-14. Fourth down for the Blue Raiders. And they hand it off to Philip Tanner, who gets stopped short by a slew of Kentucky defenders. That would lead to a Lona Seaver field goal with 20 seconds left on the clock. Cats up 10-14, but it gets blocked and returned 50 yards by Ted Riley. That would set up the Blue Raiders to have one last Hail Mary. Craddock throws it up. Eldrick King magically comes down with it, but is tackled just 1 yard short of the goal line by Robbie McAdie. And the Cats hold on to win by a yard, 20-14. And for the post-game, we go to Leslie Neely. Leslie, how close was that one?
The UK coaching staff going against Middle Tennessee State figured they could answer some of their questions on offense, in particular, the quarterback situation. They got their questions answered, but not in the way they wanted it.
Early in the first quarter, freshman phenom Randall Cobb came into the game as wide receiver and got injured running a route, and then carted off the field. He returned in the second half, but on crutches. He is listed as questionable for the Western game.
Oh, we got to, the good thing about it is we got a break. We got a break this week. We'll give him off this week, and hopefully we can get him back in for the Western game.
After Cobb's injury, Hartline stepped up, scoring 2 touchdowns and having over 200 yards that inevitably won the game for the Cats. And for his outstanding plays, Hartline was rewarded with SEC Offensive Player of the Week.
Mike's definitely growing up. He is. We actually for these young receivers to grow up, and we watching Mike grow up before our eyes. He's doing a good job. He was right at 60% completion percentage. He's throwing the ball to the right place. He's making the right checks. He's managing the game well.
It looked like the game was firmly in hand with 20 seconds left on the clock. Lona Seaver poised for a 30-yard field goal. And as the next 20 seconds unfolded, the fans saw flashbacks. from the 2002 Bluegrass Miracle.
The last few series, just trying to stop their offense because we knew that we couldn't afford to keep these guys around in the game, and unfortunately it went down to the last play, and I thought we had just lost the game.
Pulling out a win with an inch to spare, the Wildcats plan on using their bye week to heal injuries and prepare for Western Kentucky University. Reporting from Commonwealth Stadium, I'm Leslie Neely with Sportszone50.
And Ryan, it's actually a pretty good thing that that the Cats get a bye week on this upcoming weekend, because they got really banged up against a really good MTSU team, which actually the Kentucky Wildcats saw themselves getting pretty banged up during that game. There were big injuries in this game, with Ricky Lumpkin going out early in the game with a high ankle sprain, and Micah Johnson also went out of the game early on, and also freshman phenom Randall Cobb left early during the game. So this would be a good week for the Cats to kind of heal those wounds, to get into the weight room, get into the video room, and really dissect this game, because there were a lot of things that needed to be touched up upon. The defense looked like they got a little lackadaisical during the end of the game. Special teams definitely needs to be worked on, and I think it'll be really good for the Wildcats to really rest up during this bye week coming up.
And we're not saying Middle Tennessee State was a pushover by any means. They did a big win against Maryland. This team could run their running back number 2, could flat out fly, as NFL-like speed. Something that the Cats have to work on, though. Randall Cobb is out. Mike Hartline is your guy. Cobb out indefinitely. A big loss for Kentucky, because going into SEC action, SEC is a lot faster than these non-conference games. And Mike Hartline is going to struggle if he doesn't learn to get out of the pocket whenever he gets pressured, and that's something Randall Cobb could do very well for Kentucky.
Absolutely, and also it was a really good test for the Wildcats. The Wildcats have historically had problems against the spread, and MTSU ran a very good spread offense. So this will be really good training for the Cats as they look on to playing teams that run the spread, such as South Carolina, such as Florida. So this will be really good, a really good opportunity for the Cats to get into the video room, watch film on this past game, and really tighten up their struggles. The most important thing is that, no, it was not a pretty win by any means, but it was a W. The Cats are 3-0. The first time the Kentucky Wildcats have been 3-0 back-to-back in almost 2 decades. So it's a really good start for the Wildcats, and they'll be able to take this bye week and really tighten up a lot of things that were loose that they were able to discover after this game. And after a tough road schedule last week, the women's volleyball team was at home this past week, hosting Indiana Eastern Kentucky and Albany in their invitational tournament. Kentucky breezed through their first game against Indiana 3-1, then took on Eastern Kentucky in game 2. The second game, the Colonels put up a fight, but they were no match for the Cats. Kentucky took game 2 3-0. In the final night game, Kentucky defeated Albany 3-1.
The men's soccer team was on the road this past week as they went up to Cincinnati to take on the Bearcats. Tim Crone netted his first 2 goals of the season, along with Michael Strong's 5th goal of the year. And that led the men's soccer team to a 4-1 win over the Cincinnati Bearcats. Up next for the Cats, Michigan at home on Wednesday.
And on to the women's soccer team. They were also on the road this week as they took on West Virginia. The Wildcats struggled. The Wildcat struggles continued as they lost a tough game to the Mountaineers, 1-0 against 14th-ranked Mountaineers. The Mountaineers netted their first goal 17 minutes into the game, and the Wildcats just couldn't find an answer. The Lady Cats are at home next week against Oakland on Friday at 7:00 p.m.
Well, that does it for everyone here at Sports Zone 50. This short episode, we'd like to thank everyone for watching.
And if you can't get enough UK coverage, remember to check out our website at www.sportszone50.com. That's www.sportszone50.com.
Remember, guys, go to class, use the designated driver, and always bleed blue.
And remember, knuckleheads, same bad time, same bad channel, same bad website.
Have a great week, everybody.